back available yet, but I wanna bring up Saeed for coming up. All right, I mean, I don't know if you want to give us a couple words here real quick.
Well, no, I think I've said it before. This is it. This is to go towards your dreams, and it's so clear.
It's pretty amazing when it's clear, guys. And it's funny how people that are clear about it, that make that decision, make a lot of money. So say, proud of those.
I didn't say anything, but this is home. Sure.
Oh, you can.
Okay.
When I'm done.
No.
Yeah, when I'm done.
Okay.
So really quick. So this next gentleman, again, I wanna can't say enough about him. You know, his dedication and really putting the time and effort into this thing and starting to make some money and I see really big things. So I want to promote this guy to senior associate, and we really need to stand up and give it up for Mr. Brian Mitchell.
Man, yeah. Man, it's just what I said earlier in pregame. I mean, if you don't have a better example than your Reed, we all see every day he's busting it. You get what I'm saying? It takes that, and that's all I'm trying to do. I'm walking in the same path, and hopefully pass him up because I told him I want to pass him up. You get what I'm saying? But that's the mindset. Yeah, I know. But that's the mindset that we all have to have. Because he's one day gonna beat Guillermo. Because that's his mindset. It's all about your mindset, about your work ethic. It's all about saying paying the price. And now that's all I see, and I'm doing it. I'm telling you, I'm doing it. All right, so that's it.
Hey, 2 more levels, SMB, dog.
Yeah, baby. All right, so I want to bring up Sheree because she passed her test. She got her badge. I did it in San Dimas yesterday because, you know, she was so bugged out about me not having her name tag in San Dimas, and I told her, I was like, hey, got it, you know, in front of everybody, and she was like, no. So I want to bring up Sheree for passing her test, and she's really getting started. And watch out for this girl; she's gonna be one of the powerhouses.
I believe in that.
Hey guys, I've kind of said everything I need to say, but thank you, and yes, watch out. I plan on making millions real soon. So
Like that.
see you guys next time.
All right, check it out. You guys all know Mike Betancourth here to talk to us. Mike, I want you to know that there is no time limit. You do what you gotta do. We're not in a rush. We're here to listen to you. I want you guys to know, we've been really lucky. Last week we had Carlos Bruner come talk to us, who's a product of Mike Betancourth. So this guy recruited Carlos Bruner and stayed long enough to see that guy become an SMD and more. Mike overrides several SMDs and EMDs. He's been in the business for 11 years, almost 11 years. We've been lucky to have just good all-around dudes, come up here and talk. And I want you guys to stand up and let's give them a huge round of applause.
Yeah.
You guys sit down. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I want to thank everybody for the love, all right? And I want to thank you, Reed, Mario, Jock, Amanda. You guys are awesome people and great friends of mine. And I look forward to just building these relationships. That's one of the biggest things that I think you get to do in this business. You get to meet great people, build great relationships with people, right? And, these friendships last long. I think about the next 10 years, Anybody here want to still be here and just be like 10 times richer? Anybody?
Yeah, 20 times.
Just think about that for a second. And at a very early point in my career, my mentor says, Mike, you just got to make a decision. You're going to be here for 10 years. I don't know. And that number stuck in my mind. He said, just put it in your mind. You're going to be here for 10 years. He said, if you're not going to make it. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to be here for 10 years, right? But I just want to tell you that just a couple things. It took me four times to pass my test. Some of you guys, I feel you. Didn't pass it. Okay, so just go do it again. I came all the way to San Diego, failed it like a bunch of times. Hated life. All right, and so I was that guy. I was a football player. I'll tell you a little of my story, but I failed it 3 times, passed on my 4th. And I was 24 years old when I got started. It took 9 months for me to come to a meeting. So somebody followed up with me for 9 months.
Wow.
I was the no. I was like, nah, it ain't for me. If I got to wear a shirt and tie, it's not for me. If it's an office, it's not for me. If I got to speak in front of people, it's not for me. If it sells, it's not for me. Math, forget about it. I failed that one really good, right? So it's not for me. So how the heck did I end up in financial services? Speaking in front of people with a shirt and tie on, right? Opening up my name. By the way, tomorrow my new door's open for my new office in Riverside. By the way, do I have your permission to be straight up with you guys tonight? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm your friend, okay? I'm your friend. I want you to win really bad. I want you to understand you have great leaders here that want you to win, but nobody can do it for you. Nobody can do it for you. You got to get to the point in your life where you're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do what they tell me to do. How about that?
Yep.
Right? And just not asking more questions. You know, I told my team, like, if you're at a point where like, why do I do this? Why do I do that? You're not gonna grow. You got to get to a point where you're like, you know what? I want to be coachable. So I'll tell you a little bit of my story, and then we're gonna move on to some meat and potatoes today. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Right? So 10 years ago, I'll hit 11 years of this business in November. So I'm super excited, right? 10 years. Here I am 10 years, and did it work?
Yes.
I have about 7 SMDs under me, a total of 7 SMDs. My organization extends from San Diego all the way to San Jose. I have now Vegas is going to open up for me this year. Arizona's opening. I just came back from Arizona yesterday, so we're opening up Arizona here soon. And then Boston's opening up here soon. Texas is opening up here soon. Right? And you know what? I'm not there, but my team's there, and I override it. Is that cool?
Yeah.
So one of the best things about this business is that my mentor says, Mike, you don't have to be the smartest guy in the world. You just have to recruit the smartest people. Right? It's like, hey, you know what? If I got people who are better than me in the business, awesome. I override them for life. Perfect. Right? And that's the business I'm in. I'm in the business of helping people hit their goals and dreams. I automatically hit mine. Right? So 10 years ago, I'm playing football for Azusa Pacific University. I am, I'm in the middle of, it's a Christian university. And by the way, yes, I'm a Christian, right? They say a lot of nice things about me, but I will tell you this. I thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for everything that's happened to me. And I also thank my parents. I've had some parents who have busted it to get me where I'm at. My parents came from Guatemala, right? They're 2 little short, jolly Guatemalan people, right? Well, now one, because some of you guys understand, I just lost my father 2 weeks ago. So he was one of the whys I had in this business. My reasons for doing this business, I want to retire my parents. And I said, you know, I can do it here. Retired my mom 2 years ago, and then we're retiring my dad this year, but now he's retired in heaven. So he's got it better than me, all right? So 10 years ago, I am serving at BJ's restaurant, right? And I'm playing football for the university. And sure enough, I get a call one day. So I'll tell you a couple things that happened to me that was kind of crazy because I shared this story with the guests in the meeting. And so I'm taking business administration and marketing. I played 2 years at APU. They told me if you do a good job, we're going to pay a full ride for you. I said, great. So I walked on APU. I was a kicker, did a good job. They said, sign right here, full ride scholarship. Thank you very much, right? So I signed. Everything's going great. Show up next year. Sure enough, everything's paid for. After my second year playing football, I still had another year of schooling left. But I got called into an office. Never forget this, 2006. I get called into an office. I'm like, hey, Mike, thanks for giving us a great year. I said, what's going on? I get a bonus today? Why am I getting called in, right? They're like, well, we have some news for you. The coach left the team. He went to a bigger school. And I said, good for him. He's a great coach, right? He says, well, here's the thing. In your contract, we don't have to pay any more money if he leaves. I said, well, how much money do I have left to go to school here? You know, I still got a whole year. Like, you got $0. They're like, we'll let you go to school here, but you got to pay for it. And so I pulled out all the loans I could to do it, and I, pulled out $18,000 for one semester, guys, and then ran out of money. But sure enough, I took a class. Think about it, at this point, what do you do? Right? What are you supposed to do? I have a background in construction, and serving tables and sports. I'm like, what am I going to do, right? So I end up going back to work, and I take my last class at APU, and it ends up being this lady, this crazy lady walks in, and she's like, she said, we're going to have a direct conversation about business. I said, okay, whatever, I don't care. This is my last class. I'm leaving, right? But she got my attention, and she passed it a piece of paper. How many of you guys have heard this story before? Anybody heard this story? You've heard it, right? Okay. So she passed out a piece of paper, and she says, nobody look at the piece of paper. It's down. I want to talk to you guys first. Well, I don't listen sometimes, right? So I'm like, let's do this, right? Yeah. So have any of your teachers ever shown you their W-9 forms before?
No.
Right? They actually show you how much money they make before they teach you? And it's never happened before, but it happened to me that day. I looked at the piece of paper and I go, you make this much money being a teacher? And she says, heck no, thanks for looking at the piece of paper, right? And she said, that's how much I earn owning a business. You see, I'm a professor, and then I asked, me being a smart ass, okay, and I go, so what are you doing here if you make this much money? And she says, I used to work here because I needed the money. Now it's my 1 hour that I give back to society, right? And so she's like, this is just my shopping money, right? And so turns out she gets home one day, 7 years prior to that year, and her house is empty, completely empty. Everything's gone. And she went to the kitchen and she found a note on the kitchen. She's like, these thieves left me a note, right? Turns out it wasn't a note. It was what? It was her husband. Said, I'm sorry I had to do this, but I've taken my things and I've left. You see, they were having what? Marital problems because they were having what? Money problems. And when it was all said and done, he bailed because when the truth finally came out, he had a gambling problem. And he jammed. So here she is. By the way, how does she explain this now to her 6-year-old and her 4-year-old little girl that are right next to her? They don't know why everything's out of the house. And so she made a decision right there. She called it a defining moment. And maybe this will help some of you guys in here, but here's the thing. It hit me like a ton of bricks. She says, look, I made a decision that at that point, I'm never going to let another man or a boss of mine determine the financial success for my family. See, her mother, think about this, guys. Their father left them. And she saw her mom go down into alcoholism, and that was it. So she said, I'm going to be a hero for my daughters. She's like, I'm teaching kids at university how to go build a business. Why don't I go take my own advice, right? So she started this little business online, and 7 years later, it's this online business. She started importing, exporting stuff, right? And so, by the way, just to take it, what happened there, that piece of paper after taxes read $1.27 million take home. She was 46 years old. And I said, you're a millionaire. She's like, that's right, I'm a millionaire, and it's awesome. Don't let it be confused. Don't get confused. Right? And I'll never forget this. A girl, the same girl that yelled at me in that class was like, how did you get in this class? The 2-year waiting list. You just pop in. I was like, well, I'm a football player. Okay, calm down. And I don't look like it now. Okay, I gotta lose some weight. Anyways, but she yells out, well, money's not everything. Right? Yeah. Anybody know some people like that? Yeah. I was that person too. And she said, money's not everything, because she's, and she's like, I know, honey. And the teacher said this, I know, but that's the only way you're in my class because your daddy paid for it. So shut up. Oh. And she's like, if you want to stay in here, learn how to be a businesswoman and stay. If not, you want to learn how to be a glorified employee, get out of my office. I was like, man, I like this lady. She's crazy. Right? But ever since then, I knew I wanted to go build a business. Anybody feel me? Yeah. Right? So I wanted to go build a business. I just didn't want to. How do you do it? Right? And so, guys, I'll tell her I'll tell you what she told me. And she says, hey, look, guys, at the end of the day, for as long as you work for somebody else, you never become financially independent. And then she went on by saying, hey, you got to know where all the money's going to be. And then you got to put your 100% focus in that industry and start building. But she's like, here's the thing. But you can't be an employee in an industry that's exploding, or you won't get rich. You got to have ownership. And what does WFG give us here, guys? Ownership. In the number one industry that's about to go crazy over the next 25 years. And you guys are right at the beginning before the explosion happens. And I want you to just think about this for a second. How does a whole week go by? And by the way, and you didn't bring guests here for the week. Just think about that for a second. for the biggest explosion that's about to take place, there should be more guests than there are what? Agents. So you notice that? I want you to think about this. Where is San Diego going to hold their standard? Is it okay that you had not have guests here today?
No.
Or you're going to bring guests? And it starts with what? You personally being responsible for your business actions. Because if you're going to be in business, it's time to what? It's time to start working your business. Do you agree?
Yes.
Remember, I'm your friend today, right? But, oh, what, is he just hit me in the stomach? Yes. All right? But again, I walk into BJ's restaurant one day, a lady walks in, and I knew her from previous years. And she says, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? I said, I'm working at BJ's restaurant. She's like, I thought you were going to become this like football star. I was like, I was, and I told her my story. And she said, oh, that sucks, you know. She's like, but here's the thing. You're either going to let that determine who you are or you're going to beat it, right? You're either going to be a victim or a victor. And I was like, I don't like you right now. And she said, you need to come see what I do. And by the way, that lady followed up with me for 9 months. And I will never forget this. It was like I just left school. I had nothing else, right? My dad just got laid off from Boeing. And I was like, what the heck am I going to do now? And I get a what? On the 9th month, hey, Mike, it's Melissa Lancaster. I was like, hey, girl, what's up? Right? And she's like, look, you said no to me a bunch of times. I think it's time for you to come see what I do. I was like, yeah. She's like, how's life? I was like, you wouldn't believe if I told you right now. I'm going through a storm, right? So I came in and I went to a meeting like this, except it was at a hotel, and I was never the same again. Why? Because I saw, by the way, the same timeline I saw in that business class, guess what? The same timeline WG's talking about. Were we in the right place at the right time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. If you don't get that yet, okay, you need to get it. You need to get it. And it's like, I hope that tonight, maybe tonight, like my biggest goal for you is that I wish all of you guys would do it, but I know only a percentage of you guys in this room are going to get this here tonight, that you just flat out say, you know what, I'm a 100% in. This is my last stop, right? I'm going to be here until I make it. But don't just be here and suck up air, but be here and what? Get to work. And all of you guys are starting to pop up. By the way, you guys have amazing leadership here. Would you agree?
Yes.
But it's time to think about it. If all of you just decide to say, you know what, I'm really going to grow my team by one person, you guys don't fit in this office. If you guys just really rock solid decide, everybody in this room, you're not going to live another 30 more days. You don't let your organization grow by 1 or 2 people. If you guys all committed to growing your organization by 1 or 2 people, would you fit in this room anymore? No. Is that good news?
Yes.
Perfect. So let's go over a couple things here today. And I want you to think about it. It's we're in a position where is anybody here likely to change in the next 30 days?
Yeah.
Anybody here need to make more money?
Yes.
Right? So today I'm going to go over some basics, but I'm also going to go over some things that long term I know are going to help your business. Okay? Who here is married? Who's married? All right? Who's got kids? Okay? I'm thinking, that's a lot of kids, right? Okay, perfect. So think about it. If you're here, you're not spending time with your babies, right? To me, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. I got to pick up my kid today from his first day of school. Right? He's telling me about everything. I'm just like, you know what? This is why I did WFG. So for the rest of my life, I don't have to ever clock in again for anybody else. All right? Just a little, yes, sir.
By the way, Mike has some of the cutest kids you've ever seen.
My wife, man. I know how to close. My wife. I'm a closer.
He's
Right?
got a really pretty wife.
So let's play a game. Right? Thank you. We're blessed, man. We're blessed. So let's take a look at this. So I came in WFG, and what did I do? Nobody knew me. I got to start working under Guillermo Haro in Pomona, California, right? And he already had about 125 people in that office, and no AC. I'm just going to say that right now. He said the AC's on. He's lying, right? Never. By the way, can you imagine this room being 3 times bigger, right? Full, no AC. And we already knew going in that we were going to what? Drop weight, right? And we didn't even care. Why? Because every week, right, he had people coming up making what? $10, $20, $30, $50,000, right, in a month. And I'm like, I don't care what we do, right? I'm in, right? But at the end of the day, see, I came in here and I just knew 3 things were going to help me grow my business and I got behind it. So let me play a game with you guys. Can we play a game here first? All right, let's play a game. Some of you guys have seen this game, some of you guys haven't, but I want you to kind of put yourself in this. And the reason why I'm going to play this game here for a second is because this is one of my favorite napkin presentations that I use in the middle of a, quinceañera. You can be in a bar, you can be at a restaurant, you can be with a friend. You can go home tonight and do this. And I say this just because I did this little thing here tonight, right, with a friend of mine when I came home after a meeting, and I recruited a guy named Danny Free. You guys know who Danny Free is?
Yeah.
Right? My best friend since we were 8 years old. So I live with him and 3 other guys in a 2-room apartment, so you can understand how that's going, right? And so I come home and show somebody this little game, and that guy's like, "Is this what they're showing you there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just learned this today." He's like, "Well, I'm gonna come to your next meeting." Cool. Finally, after 3 months, you guys, right? Because both of my friends would laugh at me as I'm walking out of my apartment with my whatever you call it, a suit, right? As I'm walking, they're like, "There goes the businessman." They would laugh at me and clap at me. So just so you know, for the first 3 months, Danny Frias and another guy named Jesse would just clap their hands as I'm leaving to go to pregame on a Saturday morning, because we had 9 a.m., right? 8:30 p.m. And we just went out Friday night party, right? And we came home, and I'm like, "I go to this pregame thing." And I'm getting up, I'm like, "Man, I got no money. I got $2 in my truck, and we're gonna roll this thing, right?" But I had $2.75 in my account, a truck, and a dream, right? That's it. So I'm going to this meeting. These guys get up in the morning like, "What are you doing? Where are you going right now?" Right? I'm like, "I'm going to that meeting." I told him. He's like, "You're a cult, right? Like you're so stupid." Like, I heard it all. Some of you guys are going to do that stuff right now, right? Okay, so I just knew. Think about it. I want you to write this down. Something hit me. See, because they didn't see what I see. They weren't seeing what I was seeing. They weren't experiencing what I was experiencing. Correct? See, how can you let somebody else determine your future in this business and they're not here? Right? They don't even know what you know. They don't even know that you know an IUL, what's about to happen to these baby boomers and what's happening. And it's already happening. Like, we have the proof. And you're like going home, you're like, "Maybe you're right, it's not for me." And they've never seen your presentation. So you're letting somebody else who is an employee-minded person, maybe negative, right? Maybe doesn't even like you, determine your financial goals. Don't do that. Don't do that. So here's something that I did. I knew that to win my buddies next door, I had to get up as if I already had 50 people on my team. So I want you to write that down. If you had 50 people waiting for you to come to the meeting, what time would you get here? What time would you get here? Oh, I get here an hour early. Okay? If you had 50 people on your team already, how would you act? How would you walk through the door? How would you dress? How would you smile? How would your energy be? How would your production be for the rest of the week? And that was something I always talk about. I got 50 people on my team, and I would get out of my bed and just go, "Oh, pregame, 50 people waiting for me." And get this. So let's have this little game, right? So think about it just for a second. When you get tired, you don't feel like coming to the meeting. See, a champion already sees where they're going to be, right? Right? I just knew if I just put in the work, it's going to happen. So let's see, who wants to be? Okay, Brian. Okay. By the way, congratulations, buddy. All right. I love it, man. That's awesome. The senior associate, marketing director should be right around the corner. All right. So let's play a game. All right. Your game today. You guys seen this game before? What is your fin? I didn't say fin because I'm in San Diego and we're not talking about dolphins right here. Okay? Okay? But what is your fin? Here's your game. This is a napkin presentation. Look how simple this is. Okay? And I want you to draw this out. I saw this 10 years ago. Okay? Brian, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay? And all you're going to write right here is C, right? R, D, I. Okay? Everybody draw this out. Take a new piece of paper and draw it out. You're going to need this. Okay? So Brian, here's what we're going to do. What's your current age right now, Brian? See, that's what current. See right here, your current age, right? Oh, sorry, this is A. What's your current age right now? 32. Current age, right? CA. You're 32. Okay? Let me ask you a question, Brian. So think about it. I meet Brian, and we're just hanging out at a restaurant, and we're talking. Maybe we're watching a game or something, right? And so I'll say, "Hey, man, so we're talking about what I do." And Brian says, "So what do you do?" And I'll say, you got 5 minutes? You want to see something cool, right?
Yes.
You know what your fin is? Want to play a game called What's Your Fin?
What is that?
Let's play.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so I can get out any little napkin, and I'll do this, and I'll say, great. So what's your current age range? 52. Hey, Brian, have you ever thought about what age you want to retire?
Sometimes, around 60.
About 60?
65.
Okay. 65? Okay. And here's the other question. At what age would you like to die?
89,
89? Okay, 89. Now, how about 90? Is that okay?
90.
Okay, 90 is fine. And here's the thing. If you can retire today, how much money would you need to retire today?
I don't know, a couple 100,000.
Couple 100,000? Okay, so like right now, if you can pay all your bills, you don't have to be like extravagant or even poor, but just say, what do you need right now to pay your bills? Hey, by the way, you're not in WFG right now,
Right.
okay? So how much would you need to pay your bills right now and still live comfortable?
Oh, per year? Oh,
Just give it per month.
$3,000
3 grand?
a month.
Okay, 3 grand a month. You guys got that? Okay, so all we're gonna do is put what? At age 32, wants to retire at 65, and wants to pass away at what? 90. Okay? Here we go. How many years is that between 32 and 65? How many years is that? Okay? 33. You're making this little note to yourself. 65 to 90? How many years is that?
25.
Okay? 25. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring down this whole, what, he needs 3K, correct? So 3K, let's turn it into years, times 12, how much is that?
36.
36K, okay? Then I'm gonna bring down this 36K, and I'm gonna multiply times how many years he's gonna need it for?
25.
25, so times 25, and that's his FIN number. How much is that?
A lot.
Okay?
Yeah, Mike.
Who's got it? You got it?
700.
What do we got?
900,000.
900,000?
900,000.
Exactly? Okay. 900K. Okay? I'm not done yet, correct? So you want to put that 900K up here. Okay. Then you want to take that 900K. You want to divide it by what? How many years he has what? Left. How much is that? What's 900,000 divided by 33?
27,272.
27,000?
Yeah.
We'll just say 27K. And at 27K divided by 12, how much is that?
2,000. 2.2.
Okay, say 2G, right? 2 something, okay? So here it is. So Brian, check this out. I'm gonna show you a little bit of what I do, okay? You told me you want to retire at 65?
Right.
I want to live until you're 90.
Right.
Okay? So based on this calculation, your FIN is what is called what? It's $900,000. You're gonna need not here to go. If you take 3,000 multiplied times 12, $36,000 a year. 36,000 times 25 is what? 900,000. And 900,000, if you divide it by how many years you have left, that means you need to be saving right now $27,000 a year. Are you saving right now $27,000 a year?
Not even close.
Okay. By the way, let's break it down the month. Are you saving 2,000 something right now per month?
No.
So let me be straight up with you, okay? You have 2 options. By the way, do you feel like you're on track to retire?
I'm a little short.
Right? So you have 2 options here. Either A, you can dramatically reduce your goals and dreams, right? Or B, right? You can start saving and making more money. What do you want to do?
Let's save and make more money.
Okay, awesome. Now, if I can show you, okay, so here it is. You can dramatically what, guys? Reduce your goals and dreams, right? Or what? Save and make more money, right? Now, the next question is what? If I could, would you? Right? So if I can show you how to hit 900K, saving way less money, would you be interested in sitting down again? Who's going to say no to that? You're like, no, I'm not interested. All right? So if I can show you how to hit 900,000, saving way less money than that per month, right? Would you be interested in sitting down? What is he going to say? Yes. Oh, by the way, if I can show you, potentially, if I can show you how to hit that 900,000, would you want that taxable or non-taxable?
Oh, non-taxable.
Non-taxable. Do you know how you're going to do that?
No.
That's why you're going to meet with me. All right? Great. Give me your name and number, man. We'll sit down again. Okay? Now, I showed this to one of my guys when I came home right after a meeting. I did this little game, and that very negative friend that I had, he says, I'm going to go to your next meeting. And because he said, I'm going to go to the next meeting, the other Roommate in the room's like, I was playing Halo, right? He was like, fine, I'll go too. And so that guy that I showed this, right, built 38 people on his team. Beautiful. And the other guy that was, right, the other guy that was messing around too, he built about 26 people on his team. And I had S&D a year later at 25. With those two guys that built it, by the way, I had other people on my team, but think about it, one little conversation changed the game for me, right? It was just two people. Oh, by the way, one of those guys, right, is now the head of Temecula. Danny Farias. Right? And so, how many of you guys have never seen this before? Raise your hand. Oh, look at that. Okay, perfect. So I gave it to the right people. Okay? Can you do this little calculation with someone tomorrow or tonight? Yes. You are going to what? Your job is to what? Disturb and entice people. You know what I'm good at? Because I come from the restaurant industry. You know what's really good about restaurants? Appetizers. It'll mess you up. Okay? But you need to be good at what? Giving people appetizers in this business and then having them chase you. You don't chase anybody. Look, Brian, if you really want to learn how to win the money game, dude, we got to sit down. If not, man, I won't waste your time because I'm very busy. That's called the takeaway, right? And there you go. So let's go over some very important things in this business, okay? Someone asked me yesterday, Mike, if you could break down this business to 3 things that we need to get good at, what would it be? Well, I'm going to share with you here what's Riverside going to be doing. Just so you know, look, I'm already going to give you our secret before they even know it. Cool?
Cool.
That's how nice I am, okay? So here's what we're focused on. If we just say, okay, Mike, I'm just going to put everything aside and just like, how do we do this right? Okay, very simple. Number 1, you need to focus on what? Bringing guests and turning it into them and what? Making them what? Getting them an AMA. So think about it. Number 1, I just told you right now is this Saturday, you all need to have what? Yes. But you're like, I have guests, great. And they walk out, you're like, cool, at least I have guests. No, you didn't do your job. You didn't close. Here's the work, but here's the close. Make sense?
Yeah.
Number 2, once they become what? An agent, what do we need to do? I need to be fast start focused. I need to be fast start focused, and I need to get them what? Field trained. I need to field train them. Here's the work. Here's the what? Reward. Here's the reward. Here's the close. All right. So a lot of you guys can put in this side, but you don't get to this side. Okay. So I got to get them to what? Hurry up and become what? Get to their field training. Why? So that they can, number 3, become a what? Field trainer. And then we can focus on them becoming a what? S&D. Those are the 3 main, as you want to call it. You've probably seen it before, but if you haven't seen it like this, I want to show it to you. This is all we're focused on. This is all we're focused on.
Nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters. And you know what I want? Okay, and by the way, let me share with you my goal, my vision. I want you to write this down. If you haven't written it down already, your vision needs to be big enough so that your team's vision sits inside of it. Your goals and dreams, your vision for where you want to go in business needs to be big enough for your team's vision to fit inside of it. Let me share you with what I want. Okay? It's called the 100-100-10. Okay? I want 100 S&Ds in my organization. I want 100 ring earners in the next 10 what? Years. Is that doable?
Yeah.
You do it? I think you can do that. Yeah, I'm going to do it. But where the heck are we going to be when that happens?
How many ring earners?
100 ring earners.
So you're making $1 million a month?
I think we pay some bills like that, right? We'll pay some
We'll
bills, right? Lunch money, right? Awesome. So let me just share with you a couple things here. We can break these 3 things down right now for a second. How many guys are having a hard time with number 1 right now? Honestly. All right. So my question to you is this: how long do you want to keep struggling with number 1?
Can you ask that question again?
Okay. How many guys are having trouble with number 1 right now? Oh, there you go. All right.
Nobody raised their hand already.
Okay. How long do you want to be struggling with number one? Like, how long should somebody be bad at number one? You know, a couple of years, Mike, and they'll get it together. No. You see, for me, if I didn't get number one down, I was going to run out of money, and I wasn't going to have enough money to get to the VPN. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So, like, you talk to a football player, you talk to somebody in sports, because I ended up in football, but I was actually with a soccer player and baseball player my whole life, and ended up in football. Kicker, right? But with us, how long do you have to improve something? If you don't improve it this week, you're not playing on Saturday. Does that make sense? So for me, I come from a background like, hey, if you're not performing in practice, you're not playing in the game. So you got a week to get good, so that next week you better come in and what? Perform. So for me, it was like, I remember in the moment I was talking to me like, hey, so I sure you get. I said, man, I'm bad at prospecting. Oh yeah, well, how long you been here? 3 years. I said, cool, man. Well, I'm gonna get away from you. Right? You see, I didn't want to be a play. One of the worst things you could be is on the team and not playing. One of the worst spots you could be is be on the team and not be playing, man. And let me just say this right now: a lot of you guys, some of you guys that I know here for a while, you're on the team, but you're not playing. And you actually got used to it. Right? You got used to it. I remember talking to Reeve when we were in some places, right? And it was like, I already knew from the first, like 10 seconds talking to this dude, I was like, this guy's going to kill it. You know why? Because he was so hungry to catch up to everybody. He had what, 16 years, right? So I was like, dude, he's like, I got like 16 days before I got to catch up to everybody, right? Like for him. And I knew it. See, there was just what, this hunger about him. He almost felt like he was way behind. And that's how I felt. I was way behind. Hey, by the way, let me ask you, how do you guys feel way behind? Because you are. You are. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Just want you guys to know that it's so much fun being part of like the SMB group. You know, like to be able to go to lunches, you know, because we have the MMLA meetings.
Yep.
Afterwards, once you get your $100,000 ring, you belong to the Mastermind Leadership Association. It's just the game gets fun. You're not playing. You're not in the practice squad. You're not high school football. You're not in college. You're kind of like in the pros, you know. And it's fun now. It's not a job, and it becomes fun. So what he's saying is so true. It's right on. And I've never had somebody explain it to me.
Good. You know, it's but you saw it firsthand with this dude. So it's only a matter of time. Now, what's nice about having a guy like this on the team, right? See, in the hierarchy, he's not on my team, but he's what? We're a part of one team. That a guy like that, what? Keeps you on your toes. Yeah. Like, I love new guys like that. Let's get in it, right? Let's get this to work, right? Because, see, you're going to go through stages in life in this business. But even if some of you guys like, there's going to be some good times and some bad times in the business. You heard that, right? Yeah. But it doesn't matter how many good or bad times, you should always be what? Your business should always be growing. It doesn't matter how many good or bad times you have, your business should always be what? Growing. So we're like, that doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. See, you're going to go recruit 10 people and they're all going to quit except for one. But your business is what? Growing. Your business, guys, let me just say right now, it's going to go like this one time and it's going to go, and it's going to go like this and it's going to get smaller. But every time it goes like this and gets smaller, it stays what? Bigger. Yeah. So you go recruit 10 people, Saeed, right? Like, man, they're all gone. But I got 2 from those 10, man. That's tough. No, you focus on the what? You think you're losing. No, that's just a part of the business. But you grew by 2 solid people. That's much better, believe me, than having what? 8 guys that are just kind of hanging out doing nothing. So go do it what? Again. So you can get what? Another what? 2, you keep what? 4 solid guys. And it only takes about what? 90 days, okay, to 6 months for your whole life to change. Like all you guys in here, 90 days to 6 months for your whole life to change. If you just focus on what? Just keep on doing the right things. You know people are going to fall off, what? But the ones who want it are going to stay. Make sure you're one of those people who stay, right? Or you'll be this guy 16 years later, right? Because he would be a millionaire right now. multi-millionaire, it's okay, but see, it's all timing. Right? It's all timing. So let's go over a couple things here. There's 3 things you got to understand about this business. You need to get good. You need to get good. Write that down, okay? So here it is. You need to get good. Number 2, they need to be good. Okay? Number 3, they need to what? Stay good. Feel it awesome? Okay? What does it mean about getting good?
Learn it.
You gotta learn it. You gotta stay, here it is. Number 1, you gotta be coachable. You gotta be coachable and you gotta get trained. Okay? I know this didn't happen here, okay, because it doesn't happen anywhere. But if you haven't finished your 10 training appointments, you are just, you might as well shoot your feet off, right? The number one, I think one of the best things I ever did was I went out with Guillermo, right? I booked 12 KTPs with Guillermo. He did what? He did 6 of them, and he sent me on 6 other ones with his number 1 girl on the team at the time. Her name was Vivian Imahata, okay? She was a Korean Cuban. Japanese Cuban. That's a weird combination, right? So she looked Asian, right? She was a doctor. She was a doctor in this business. Her first 6 months went over $100,000 a year. First 6 months in the business. So on all 12 of my KTPs that I went on, I was super excited. I didn't care. See, people were like, oh, "Don't you care that Guillermo's making money off of you?" I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" I was like, "I don't know what the heck I'm doing, so I might as well learn from the millionaire." Right? Like anybody here a basketball fan? You like basketball? If you had a chance to hang out with Michael Jordan, would you go?
Yeah.
Right? How else would spend money to hang out with that guy, right? Yeah. To be coached by him, right? By Kobe, right? By LeBron, all these guys, right? So think about it, like people spend millions of dollars to be coached by the best. And here I got to just take this guy on the KTP, let him make money, right? And I'm going to learn how he does that so that I can learn how to fish for the rest of my life. The way that he does it, not the way that somebody else does it, the way he does, right? So I went out with, by the way, they closed all 12 of my appointments. One of them was my mom and dad. My mom was the most negative Guatemalan on earth. She said, "This is all freaking fake." She almost kicked Guillermo out of her house. That's crazy. Like Guillermo was like, "Hello, how you doing?" She's like, "Don't hello me. Come sit down." Yeah, and Guillermo was like, "Yeah, your mom's crazy." I was like, "I'm telling you, dude." All right? She said, "I don't care how much money you are. If this is fake, we're gonna come after you." I was like, "Mom, calm down, man." Anyways, after the end of that KTP, Guillermo saved their home. Remember, they had no job. Got them out of debt. Established a mutual fund savings plan for them. Okay, we rolled over his old 401k, and he got himself what? A lot of life insurance. That in a couple of days, I'm going to be sent my check from my dad's death to go deliver to my mom. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And isn't that crazy? He opened up a GIUL a long time ago that had $88,000 in cash value. So sure enough, if you don't believe it, I'll send you guys a copy. Well, my dad, right? The life insurance plus what? The savings is attached to it. My dad's been sick for the last 4 months. He hasn't made a payment because he could go 12 years without making a payment if he didn't want to. Because everything we teach you about these products and services are what? True. This will be the 3rd person that passes away on me. And who knows? Who would have thought it was going to be that? But you think I'm passionate about what we do now? Yeah. I close a little bit better now, not just for the closing, but for I told people you got to be absolutely crazy to protect your family. All right? So you got to get good at this business. How did I get good? I hung out with good people. Right? I got my training done. Like, just get it done. Get your 10 done. Why? I want the moral authority to what? Go do it myself. Right? So you start off as a what? As a trainee, correct? And then I become a what? A trainer / what? SMD. How do you stay good? This is big time. This is very important. How do you stay good? Okay? Teach. You said teach. Somebody said teach. What else? What do you think? Duplicate. Absolutely. That's going to be a big part, right? That's a big part. But there's one. By the way, duplication is a part of number 3. But there's one before duplication. Okay? Ready for this? you have to keep a mentor. In this business, something called every giant was trained by a giant. Understand? And I don't care how big and good you get, how much money you make, you better always have what? Your mentor that you go back to. You know how many times, like I said, now, let me say this. I grew up in G's Base Shop, and then I moved away and opened up what? Different things, right? You know, my business went through like that ups and downs, but kept growing. So what do you think I did? I seeked what? I seeked G. He didn't seek me, I what? I seeked him. And I made it a point that I was gonna at least talk to him what? At least once a month. Right? When it should be what? Once a week. Serious, it should be once a week of being accountable to him. And that's one of the things that I struggled with in the beginning. I was like, I'm gonna go do it myself. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go do it. Right? You know, I'm gonna show him. Right? Right? I'm gonna show him. I don't need him. And in the end, here's the thing. I'm gonna show him, and I still need him. That makes sense? Why? Guys, it's just good old what? Wisdom, man. Why do you think G still goes to what? Rich Dolly. Rich Dolly crossed last year about a little bit over half a million. Okay, sorry, 500 million in his investments. That's how much he made last year. Some of you guys didn't know that. We should have it. He made $500 million last year in his investments. Sick, right? Right? He overrides Swan Wayne. He overrides all these other guys, right? Very big leaders, but in the end, he keeps it simple, right? And so I'm gonna tell you this: look, you need to what? Get good. Like this week, like if you're not good at prospecting, like get into a freaking room with a friend and get your scripts done in one day and get it done. Like, you know what? I know the help me script now in my sleep. Good. You're getting good, right? Like, I don't know how to invite anybody. Well, how long do you want to be that way? That makes sense?
Yeah.
Like straight up, like, and this is the way it was. Like, I don't get to play if I'm not good. So yeah, good. Now you got to be good. What? Be good is what? Be a leader. Lead from the front. Now that you've become good, now that you've learned how to do it, now you need to what? You need to be constantly what? Field training. Very simple, but not easy. Okay? Ready for this? You just need to understand, I don't care how big your team gets, if you're not recruiting 2 to 3 personal direct recruits and field training them, you're not in the game. You're not in the game. We just had a good talk right now, right? Correct? We're in Mozone. If my team, think about it, my team's getting bigger and bigger. I can't stop it. They just keep paying me. It's cool. Right? They just keep paying me, dude. Right? Right? And I was like, this is amazing. Right? Like, it's just people knew. Just a simple guy that followed a what? Follow the system. That's all I did. And I saw all these really smart people coming here like, Mike, did you know that on the accounts of the mutual funds of this and that? I was like, cool, man. I was like, you know all I know? And I remember talking to these guys like, hey, how you doing? Like, man, you guys are taller than me. You guys have glasses. You guys have series 100s. You know, like all these licenses around. I'm like, man, you guys like seem so smart. I was like, and I knew that we took it, think about it, very simple. I knew that as long as me or my team was taking the most guests for the BPM or the what? The most pieces of business closed, as long as me and my team were taking these trophies, my team was beating everybody, catching up to everybody, and eventually what? Dominating. Very simple. Somebody like, cheesy, you didn't even get to take them home. No, it's what they represent of what's happening in your business. So again, there's 2 base shops in here, right? There's 2 hierarchies in here, or 3?
2.
Yeah.
Not 3.
3? Okay. Now, one's either continue to get bigger and the other one stays behind, or the other one what can catch up. And how do you catch up? It's always an equal playing field every single week. See, some of you guys focus on like, I'm not where I want to be, I'm not where I want to be, I've really wasted a lot of time. Stop freaking crying. Like, get in the game this week. You know how you start? Just take the trophy. Most top inviter, right? Sure enough, top crusader, right? That's what it is. 10 years ago, we were doing the same things, right? And I was just like, see those guys that are so smarter than me and all that stuff, like, cool, you guys are smart, you guys have all your licenses. I just passed my life. They're like, right? And they're looking at me like I'm some dummy. I was like, you know what? But I have 5 guests here. Well, how'd you do that? I didn't spend time looking at mutual fund and building charts in my office and color coordinating all this. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, did I make my point?
Yes.
How do you stay good? Mentorship. Let me break this down to you. Time. You need to spend time with your mentor. I just get invited to go play golf with my mentor, right? I was like, he's like, you want to play golf? I was like, man, I suck at golf. But yes, I'll be there. 18 holes with your mentor, you think I can relearn some more things? What is he going to do? He's going to do something really good. He always says to me, how do you live on what you make, Mike? Right? He's going to tell me the same 3 things. Dude, how do you live on what you make? When are you going to be a millionaire? And when are you going to lose weight? That's G, right? My whole life. Right? He's like, how do you win? I'm like, I'm just good, G. Right? He's like, you know, he just laughs, right? Because see, one thing for me is that, who here likes Rocky? Remember Rocky? Remember Rocky? One of the best movies of all time? Ladies, if you haven't seen the movie, you need to. Just get it done. Just get it done. You'll never be the same. My wife did it, right? She watched just a little bit of Rocky, and she's just like, you know, she's like, oh, why do you keep watching these movies? Like, it'll be 12 o'clock at night, Rocky 2 is on, I'm going to watch the whole thing. Maybe with me, right? I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. She's like, get out of here, right? She watched a little bit of Rocky, right? And she was just like, hooked, right? She's like, this is awesome. I'm like, told you. Right? Anyway, just saying. Time with your mentor. He pushes me all the time. I'm not where I want to be, guys, but I'm not where I used to be. Right? I don't live where I used to be. I don't drive what I used to drive. I don't have the same accounts anymore. Right? I used to do mortgages too for a little bit. That was cool. Used to make some good money in the mortgages industry. Right, Greg?
Yep, sometimes.
Sometimes, right? Then I caught myself just like driving all over the place looking for conditions. Anyways, that's another thing. But time with your mentor. You need to seek it. How do you get time with them? Well, you need to what? One-on-one time with them? You need to ask for it. And there, by the way, you know what they're going to do? They're going to say what? No, get away from me. You think they're going to say that? No. They're going to say absolutely. Let's spend some time together. They want to spend time with you. Number 2, you need to make sure that what? You attend every event that your what? That your mentor is throwing. You never miss an event ever again. Ever again. Right? If your reef says that we're going to do a Super 7 and 7, if you're in the game, you're going to show up to that event. And if you're smart, you're going to take a what? A team with you. Right? A team with you. Do we just throw these things on for just like our health? No, we want you to get better. Right? We want you to get better. We just did an event, a Super Saturday, a couple of Saturdays ago for our hierarchy. Right? I know some of you guys went down there. It was an awesome event. Awesome. But see, after that event, my team has brought more guests than any other team. You see, in one day, I got what? 10 people good at just inviting people, getting numbers and inviting people to a meeting. My whole base shop has changed. When? It took one Super Saturday. Oh, by the way, I just went to Arizona, right? We just closed a bunch of business. Why? Because that girl wasn't doing nothing in Arizona, drove all the way to Super Saturday. She's like, oh my gosh, I thought everybody was good. Everybody sucks. Right? Like, I could be good then, right? So she started practicing. So one day of getting better, right? She went back to Arizona, scheduled a bunch of, we just closed a bunch of appointments in Arizona, and she's calling me today. She booked 10 more KTPs. Why? Because she got good when? One day. She took action. Right? Like some of you guys are chronically broke. Why? Because you're chronically stuck in your habits. It's called doing nothing. So you need to what? Get to the big events. Right? You need to get to the big events. Let's keep going here. So one last thing. You need to get to the big events. Right?
Yes.
Like you need to be the number 1 person that what? Registers, whatever it is, wherever it's at, you're there. Like I'm there and I'm taking a team. Right? I'm there and I'm taking a team. That's just got to be your, and it's like, there's like, I hope today, how many of you guys feel like your butt's on fire today? Like, man, I feel like Mike's talking to me. You feel like that, right? That's like church, right? Right? They are. Okay. All right. So, you guys have ever heard of the story of the two axemen that went out and competed? You guys ever heard about that story? Okay. So these two guys, right? They competed. They went out. Right? They went out. They had a certain amount of time to chop down a certain amount of what? Tree, right? Trees on trees, right? So think about it. So here they go. They start what? Start chopping away. Both of them. Boom! Time starts. But every 30 minutes, one of the guys would walk away and go sit down. Right? And the guy was just chopping away. He's like, I'm gonna beat this guy, right? Because I got more stamina than him. I'm gonna just keep chopping away. Sure enough, the guy come back and just keep chopping away, chopping. And he went in one direction chopping, and the other guy went in one. And he saw every 30 minutes he was stopped. He's like, oh, I got this guy beat. By the end of the day, the guy that was what? That took what? Every 30 minutes it stopped, okay? Beat him by 3 times. By 3 times. So at the end of the competition, he went through, he's like, how the heck did you beat me, dude? Like, I was chopping more wood than you. He says, no, you weren't. He says, you were taking more hacks than me, but I was chopping more wood than you. Because every 30 minutes I'd stop to sharpen my axe. Right? And with every blow, I would get what? I'd get more wood from one blow than you. It took you, what, 10 to get to the same spot. I beat you. And a lot of you here are that person. You're just what? Chopping away your business. But you ain't getting any better. Like, I went and talked to people the same way last week. What, did you get any numbers last week? No. I did the same thing this week. No. Like, you still sound weird. So you're going to get 0 numbers. That makes sense? So you need to what? Improve your axe. You need to improve you. You need to get what? Better. Well, how do I get better? It's called books. It's called audio. You got to listen to the right people and help you get better. Think about it. I'm trying to be a better prospector. Although I'm a pretty good prospector, I got 3 more books on prospecting. Why? Because I want to have the edge. If I want to compete at the highest level with all these champions on the team, I better keep getting better as a leader. And if I want to bring value to my team, I need to what? Get better. Your team is only going to get as good as you get. So how are you doing right now? Do you still have Team Invisible? Team Invisible. Right? Like, why don't I have a team, Mike? I've been here for 3 months. Got nobody here. You understand the next 3 months can't be the same. It just can't happen. And so this is what I mean. You need to take time to go get what? Better at these big events. These big events are what? Believe me, they're a big sharpening tool. But think about it. It doesn't just sharpen your axe. It sharpens all the axes of your team in one day. You guys get what? Better. So you need to make it to the big events. Never forget the 2 axemen. Is that okay?
Yes. Yeah.
All right? Let's keep going. We only have about 4 more hours. Who's playing? All right?
Yeah.
Sharpen an axe.
Okay? Let's move on to the next thing here. If you want to compete at the highest level, you can't beat an army with a sniper. My men here and women that are serving our country, can you raise your hand really fast? Look at all these. Give them a hand. Give them a big round of applause. Is that true?
Yeah.
Can you beat a war with a sniper? But are snipers important?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? Yes, they are.
Change the course of battle.
Right? Absolutely. And by the way, see, what's going to happen is that you can be a recruiter, okay? And you can be a producer. Okay? Which one would you rather be? Which one would you rather be? Okay? Now let's think about this. If you're a recruiter, you better be a what? A producer. But if you still are not good at recruiting, you should still always be what? Producer. So you can no longer say, I'm not good at recruiting, that's why I'm not making money. No. You have a license to go help people. You just don't talk to anybody. That make sense?
Yeah.
You have a product that pretty much sells itself. When I go sit down with someone who's over 60 years old, it's like, fixed index annuity or your IRA or your 401k. It's pretty simple, right? So it's kind of hard for you not to be producing. See, it's not okay that you don't make money every month. It's not okay. I didn't recruit you last month. Doesn't matter. You still have the power to go what? Talk to enough people who might need your services, right? So right now, you need to become a what? Yes, you need to become both a what? A recruiter and what? Producer. But then you need to what? You need to build a team who starts what?
Recruiting.
Okay? Recruiting, there's the ING, and what? Producing. And producing. That's the next level. A recruiting and producing base shop. A recruiting and producing team. Hey, a recruiting and producing S&D that has a team that's what? Recruiting and producing. That what? It goes opens up what? Multiple offices that have what? They're always what? Recruiting and producing. When the stuff hits the fan, the good fan, right? In this company, how many offices will you have open? How many locations will you have? One of my goals is I just want, I want 2 out of every 10 IULs in the nation to be written up under my team. Isn't that nice? And actually look at your IULs and be like, man, 2 out of every 10 IULs that are written in a nation is somewhere on my team in the nation. Somebody wrote it on my team. Because that's what's going to happen. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Right? And so right now, see, also look, you see a smile there? It's a big smile. Right? And if you get this going, it becomes a what?
Bigger smile.
Real big smile. Okay? And so we look at this right now, and it's just a decision. By the way, if you want to become a what? A big time builder and a big time what? Producer, it's a decision. It's not a hope and dream. It's what? It's a decision. It's a choice. You're going to go do that what? This week. This week, like that's it. You're not just here just kind of hang out. You're here to what? You're here to be a pillar in this office. I know you guys might have a dream to what? Knock out this wall and keep going, right?
We're talking about.
Beautiful, right? Well, that should happen in the next 90 days if half of you guys actually just went to work.
Would be happy to do so.
That makes sense? But here's the thing. The biggest frustration of every leader is that they only have agents. They don't have leaders who want it just as bad as them. Biggest frustration ever. And so that's why we have to continue to what? Recruit new directs and go find people who want it. Yes, sir?
Can you say that again, please, that last part?
Okay, the biggest frustration of every leader, right, is that they have just a bunch of agents. They don't have enough leaders who want it just as bad as they do. Can't believe I remember that, right? Was that? Oh, I go through that too? Yeah, you go through that too?
No, that's not the only one.
No, man, gosh, I thought I was the only one, right? I got a guy on my team right now that just went to work, and he asked his boss, hey, this Wednesday, I like to request if I can come in a little later, right, and leave a little earlier. He's all, why is that? Well, it's my kid's first day of school, right, and I want to be there to go drop him off, and I want to go be there to pick him up too. What does boss say to him? Nope. He says, that's nice, dude, but you got to own this place to make decisions like that. He's all, sorry. And you know what kind of turns the knife? His boss didn't show up that day. Why? Because he went to go what? They're like, what's his name? Oh yeah, he's dropping off his kid at school. And the guy on my team was like, oh my gosh. I'm all, you know what sucks about that, dude? Is that your kid only has first grade once in their life. You just missed one. You ready to miss second grade too? See, because he's been here for a while and he's just messing around with this thing. I said, you just let what? I held your kid as a baby and you let it get to what? First grade and you still couldn't be there. Because your 6-figure job that you're really taking home $60,000 a year, right, controls your life. There's a word that will screw your life up. It's called good enough. You should write that down. It'll mess things up. It'll mess you up. It'll mess your life up. It'll mess your family up. It's called good enough. Well, what I do is it's good enough. You guys ever done that before? Well, at least I did good enough. It's good enough. No, see, there's 2 types of people. There's the good enough and there's the max out. Which one are you? And by the way, that fight will be there every single week. Am I that was good enough? 2 numbers is good enough today for me. Or are you just gonna get to 5? Get to 5, right? So can I erase this now, guys? Okay? Yeah. Okay. So am I boring you guys? Are you guys good? Good? Okay, anybody here gonna change things up this week?
Yeah.
I hope so, right? I hope so. See, here's what I get scared of. Every time I go in here, if you guys actually do what I tell you to do, then you're gonna smash me.
Yes.
Smash our team, our team doesn't get together, right? But that's just the way it is. And it's like, okay, so now, see, my team knows that I come in here like, why are you going to San Diego? What are you gonna do out there? Right? I'm like, I'm gonna spend time with the other guys, right? Our teammates out here. We got some teammates out here, right? Got our team. And I love this guy, Yuri, right? And Margo. I love these guys. I love these people, right? They're like, well, why are you going over there? Like, what are you gonna tell them? I'm gonna tell them everything. Like, why? Well, because that's what a leader does. That's what, you tell people the truth. Does that make sense? Really, only a percentage of people are gonna do it, but I'm telling you what we're doing. Right? I'm just telling you what we're doing. So remember, the 3 things you gotta get good at is what? Number 1 is what?
Good.
You gotta here we go. We have to bring guests and turn them into what?
Amen.
AMAs. There's a process there, isn't there? There's a prospecting, make the phone call, invite, become a captain, bring them in when they come out of the office, actually say the right thing, and say, what'd you think? No, that's the wrong thing to say, right? You say, hey, wasn't that awesome? Let's go sit down in my office. Talk for a second. And then you actually do the interview and you close the interview and get what? AMA done that night. That's the process of number 1. I'm not good at that, Mike. Okay, cool. I understand. I wasn't good at it either, but how long do you want to remain not good at that? Everybody say this with me. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Right? Well, my team's not good at that. Great. Take a Saturday afternoon and do what's called what? What I used to call. We used to have a little. I didn't call it Super Saturday. I used to call it a team boot camp. I lived in an apartment with nobody. I get my whole team, right? And I actually had a team going, right? I got some pizzas, had everybody in my apartment, and we just focused on one thing. One Saturday we did for 3 hours? This is how you do the interview after the VPN. And I just said, you know what? I come from sports. Drill, practice, and rehearse. Let's just get 3 hours until you get blue in the face of knowing what to say. Here are the 4 or 5 questions that you say, and close it. So people make this process very, very hard. Like last night, he said, can you do an interview for me? I was like, I can, bro. Where's your guy? Come in here. He's like, okay, what office do you want to go? I was like, we don't need an office. Check this out, right? So stand up, Jack. Do this now. So let's just say he's coming out of the meeting, right? And let's just say you brought him, right? So stand up with me, okay? Check this out, okay? Last night, I'm like, so introduce yourself, Mike. This is Jock, right?
This is Doc.
Hey, nice to meet you, my man. Hey, that was awesome stuff, right?
Yeah,
that was great, right? Come on, man. Let's take a walk. So what'd you like the most about it? And by the way, my trainee is looking for an office. Like, where are we going to sit down, right? Like, what's always like the most about it, man?
I can help people make $1 million.
You gotta make money, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. And how do you? And then we're still walking, right? Let's just take a walk, right? Bear with me, right? I say, and how do you see this really helping you at this moment?
I can do it part-time, get my feet wet,
Yeah,
learn a little bit.
And then who do you really need to do this for?
My family,
Your family, right?
my son.
So you heard it there. They got to do a background checking on you, right?
Yeah.
And we got to submit that application. You understand that we can't take you here before until home office clears you, right?
Yeah.
But you see the reason why you couldn't get that done?
Yeah.
Right? And $100 is nothing, right?
Yeah.
Tell you what, why don't you go sit down right there and do the AMA? Sound good? Perfect. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It took about 5-7 steps for me to do an interview. Why? Because you know what I discovered? Just get it freaking done. Does that make sense? Because last night we had 7 guests and I had to interview a lot of them. So I had to okay, this guy's already looked like he's fired up. Well, go right there. Go to. She was like, what? What happened? Oh, interview's done. AMA right now. She's like, okay, come over here. How you doing? What's going on? Great, awesome, man. When can you get it done? Great, let's get it done right here. Hey, you have an AMA? Sit down right here. Boom, got it done. You were recruited 4 people last night. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
But see, everybody thinks it's hard. It's just what? No, you just gotta get it done. Number 2 was what?
Fast start training.
Fast start field training. Is that a process?
Yeah.
How long does it take to learn that? Should it take to learn it? It might take a couple weeks, right, to get it done. And you're not going to feel, here's the thing, you're actually going to know it, but you're not going to feel like you know it, because that's called confidence until you do it a couple times.
Yeah, true, definitely.
So everybody knows how to do it, but you don't feel confident to do it. Therefore, you still say, I don't know how to do it. But you do know how to do it. Right? You do know how to do it. So put it in front of your read, put it in front of your leaders, but how many times do you still want to do it until you can go knock it out yourself? I challenge this office, right, to hurry up and lead your business. Walk in like if you already have what? 50 people on your team. Can we do that?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk retention. Write that down. Let's talk retention. How do you keep a team? That, by the way, is a tough one, right?
Yes.
How many of us have built a team and it's frustrating, isn't it? It's frustrating. It is, because at the end of the day, guys, it's tough to build a team, but it's not impossible to build a team, right? But there are what I call 3 humps in this business, okay? You got to get your people through over 3 humps. You know, we always say when you get over a hump, it's all what? Downhill from here, right? Well, there's 3 of them you got to get over. And you got to understand these are very important. When you get a new agent on your team, very important, by the way, for them to have a surviving chance, right? Number one, here we go. Number 1, you got to get them on a KTP ASAP. They're fired up coming out of the meeting of what this could happen. Quickly show them how it happens. Quickly. If you're new here and you haven't gone on your 10 training appointments, you haven't gone on 1, and you've been here already 2 weeks, you're like, you know, you've seen a fish that's trying to breathe. Fish out of water. See what I'm saying? Like, that's you. If you're running on fumes, you're about to die. Right? Because you'll take anything to breathe again, and that's usually going to be somebody negative saying, that stuff doesn't work. You're right, huh? I'm out. Gone. Because you haven't seen the success happen. You need to get in the field immediately, see a KTP, see the wow that happens in a KTP, because then this business goes from your head to your heart. I'm not gonna lie, when I came out, I'm like, I'm gonna be a millionaire. This is awesome, making money. But then I found out we actually do help people. That was awesome. Right? And so you got to take somebody on a KTP as soon as possible. How fast should this happen? As soon as possible. How long does a baby last if you don't take care of it, feed it, nurse it, right after they're born? How long will a baby last? They'll die by after what? Maybe 24 hours? A newborn, anybody in the nursing industry, right? Or medical?
A little longer than 24 hours.
A little longer than 24 hours, but it's going to die soon, right?
3 days, you got
3 days done. Okay? Just think about that. How many new babies have you just let die? It wasn't even them, it was you. Because you, the trainer, still doesn't have confidence to what? Help that and just be a professional about it and take care of them. See, there's a system, you got to do it. Number 2, here we go, number 2. What's the number 2? Right? Get them a new what? New agent. Build them a team. How many might? Well, 3 is nice, but 1's enough to get them what? Fired up. But 3, so in. You go build them 3 new agents right away in their first week or 2. You build 3 guys under them. They ain't going anywhere unless there's something wrong in their brains. Make sense? Build them 3. So is it?
Sheree.
Sheree? So Sheree, let's say Sheree is one of my trainers. I'm like, Sheree, you got 3 new agents last month. Awesome, right? All right, let's go over it. I have a simple check system in my mind. So they've been here a week. How many of them have gone on a KTP? None. How many of them have a new agent under them right now? None. So you're gonna have nothing soon. Team's gonna die. Team die. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a team cemetery. Right? You might as well just call it that, right? And by the way, for a long time, San Diego's been what? The cemetery of WFG. Did you know that? They call this place a cemetery. Some offices out here, you go there, you die. I'm serious, because it was ran by what? A bunch of what? It was ran by a bunch of guys who never what? Recruited,
build it, right? It had no system. All they did is sit in their office and try to do this the old-fashioned way, do a bunch of cold calls and get clients. That's all they did. That make sense? It ain't a cemetery anymore. The lights work in here, right? We got energy. You guys took the belt, right?
Yes.
Come on, man. Like, this is like, that's never happened in San Diego. It's happening now. So, like, you guys are in the right place, right?
Yes.
But please don't become a cemetery again. Can we keep this going?
Yes.
All right. Okay, now, number 3. What's the last one? You ready for this?
Get paid.
There you go. Get them paid. That's why you got to hurry up and get your people licensed, get them appointed. So you got to have a system for that in your company. Do you have an assistant that's helping people get licensed and paid quick? Well, my upline does it for me. Great. How long are you going to take until you're going to grow up and do yourself too? Right? And so again, remember, it's the point to where some of you guys come from business. You knew that your business ran better when you finally what? Just started running it. Running it like a business. I know that if we don't take this guy in the field, we don't build somebody under him, we don't get him paid here pretty soon, he's going to die. He's going to die. You know what I'm saying? But you notice this? This is what? What's happening here? It's called time, correct? So how fast can I make this happen? How fast can I make this happen? Here's a good time frame. Here's 30 days. 30 to 60 days. This guy's got to get a freaking paycheck or he go.
Besides the fact that, you definitely know what you're talking about because you've probably gone through this a couple times. Can you kind of just elaborate on the fact that, yes, leaders need to get that done, but people also need to want to do it.
Of course.
A lot of people, they'll say, well, my leader didn't tell me to go set up a KTP, so I just never did. Or they never told me to, recruit. But the truth is, they hear it constantly. But there's got to be a desire to want to build and to make money.
Well said. When I first came in this business, guys, okay, let's just say this. I wasn't fast started properly.
I wasn't fast started.
Right? I thought it was a mortgage company. Because WSG used to do mortgages back then. I'm like, now I'm part of this big mortgage company. Brokerage is freaking awesome, right? I didn't know that we actually did what? I was it for a long time. We never did an annuity ever in GSOC because he didn't know annuities existed. Just so you know.
Just finding out about it.
Right? You just found out.
He's just finding out about
He
it.
just found out. Yeah, he's like, so what's the about this rollover? I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Right? So for me, it's very simple. I got good at what? IULs, term, and fixed index annuities. That's all I do. And I got an army of people who can close that. That's it. You two should get good at that. But you're right, okay? I didn't get fast started properly. So we were all given a book called the what? The BFS? And on that thing it said what? The 8-speed filters we were supposed to do? I said, I think we're supposed to do this. And I come from football, so I knew that every football team that I went to had a what? A program, a playbook. You just follow that playbook or you ain't playing, right? So sure enough, I just follow those filters, and I said, okay, well, we got to recruit, we got to go on appointments, and I got to get people to go recruit and go on appointments, right? So I'm just going to take it upon myself to build a little system within a system. And don't tell G this, okay? Okay, don't tell your neighbor right now I told you this right now, okay? But I told my team, hey, so I just got off the phone with Gene, he wants me to roll with this. Oh yeah? Yeah, so we're gonna roll with this. Cool, and we called it what? Dominating the basics. And I came up with 5 things that we needed to do as a team, right? Back then, I'll never forget the dominating the basics. I'm gonna share with you today, right? And I said, look, man, I just got off the phone with G, very intense phone call. He says, we're rolling with this. And he says, we got to roll. So I need you guys to roll with this. And I remember I had like 5 directs. And I said, so we got to make sure we do these 5 things. And if you don't do them right, I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to take over your team. If you can't do this right as a leader of your team, I'm going to take over. G never told me to do that. I just did it. And they thought G told us to do it. I leveraged my leader. And 3 months later, we did 210,000 points and I hit S&D.
Damn.
See, because back then I had to do 90,000 points. We didn't hit no little 90,000 points. I didn't even know I hit S&D. My guy, he was my numbers guy on my team. He's like, dude, you know I hit S&D? I was like, sweet, we're not big enough. I'm not going to take it right now. I'm like, how many points are we? He's like, dude, you got 210,000 points in 3 months. I was like, and all I did was roll these little 5 basic things, and I had enough leaders on my team to roll with it too, and we passed everybody up. I just need enough leaders to go do that again, right? To go 210,000 points again. But that's all we did. That's all we did. And I remember Josh doing this, right? You guys know who Josh Williamson is? Yep. I remember him being in the meeting like, okay, we're doing that. Right? He was like, oh, okay. Because oh, by the way, he was still new. He was like 2 months in the business. He had an upline that quit. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Corey quit, man. I like that guy. Right?
But aren't you happy?
What's that?
I said, aren't you happy? Okay.
Still, right? He'd be direct to me, right? Yes, I override Josh Williamson. That's nice. That's a nice thing, right? He did 88,000 points last month. He's going for 150,000 points this month. Go, Josh! Again, people ask me, how do you get a Josh Williamson on your team? You want to write this down? Here's what it is. Here's what it is. How do you keep it up? You pour a massive belief in them. You believe in your people. Ask Josh what I used to call him before when he used to turn so red he looked like a lobster. I remember taking him prospecting. He's like, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I'm like, you can do it, man. Go up to that guy right there. I'll buy you an ice cream. And he got out and he did this. I remember Josh doing this at a gas station, right? And then he went up. He was like, forget this. This is the last day he does this, right? And he comes back, lock the doors. He's like, come on, dude. Come on. I'm like, no, dude, we're not leaving. We're going to stay here until the next group of cars come in and you're going to get a number or you're not getting back in the car. And he went up to it. I was like, hey, man, how you doing? And he was like, oh, he was like, screwed it up. And the guy's like, yeah, man, I'm interested. You can still go like this to me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me, dude. Like, stay up. Like, why is he looking at me? Why is he doing that, right? And he's like, yeah, I got the number. He's like, he comes back. The guy's looking at him like, why is he going back all like excited? You know, I'm like, that's Josh for you. The guy who couldn't talk in front of anybody, the guy who was what, nervous, the guy who couldn't prospect for nothing, the guy who couldn't what, I can't do that all the time. Like, stop being weedy, dude. Go up and do it. You're gonna do. By the way, you're breaking the floor today. I can't break the floor today. I'm not. Also, I'm like, dude. You know what I call him? I was like, you know who you are, dude? I was like, you're my sleeping giant. He's a champion, right? Your brother's a champ. Yeah. He was a CIF champion in wrestling, right? Yeah. So I knew if he was a champion in that, he just needed to know how to get good at this. So see, Josh Williamson had to catch up to what? The confidence in his business. He just needed me to be that bridge for him called what? He had somebody who believed in him. And then one day he just flipped. He went to a big event, because remember, big events change you. And he came back, him and his wife were like, his wife came in. She was like, he's quitting his job in 2 months. It's either we do this or not. And Josh was like, I am? She's like, you are. She's like, I'm tired of getting beat by this guy. And I'm just like, who is this woman? Right? And I'm like, okay.
The real sleeping giant.
The real sleeping giant. I didn't know that the wife was, was the real one in the back, right? So she woke up, he woke up. And the rest, what, is history. Yeah. So, you guys get this?
Yes.
Does this help?
Yeah.
So, number one. Let's go over dominating the basics. Let me show you really quick what those 5 things were back then, and then if you guys want to do this, do it. Don't tell your Reed. Okay? Don't tell Josh, right? But here's the thing. Do whatever your S&D tells you to do. Okay? I'm going to say that right now. Do whatever this guy tells you to do, whatever these guys say to do it. Right? They're ahead for a reason. They're doing what they're supposed to do. This is what I did. Okay? Well, the first things first. CEO plan to focus. What the heck is that? Raise your hand if you don't know what CEO plan is. Okay? CEO plan. Here it is. You need to hurry up and go what? Recruit 3 personally, but the goal is to what? Go get 10. Go recruit 10 people in a month. Go recruit 10 people. You want to change your business right away, Todd? Right, Todd? Yeah. Okay. I just mentioned. How you doing, buddy? Hey, good. How are you? Awesome. Good. Just say, make up your mind. Say, I need to get to 10. So this month in September, go do everything possible to not be the same Todd you were last month. Right? Be that SMD before the title. Be that champion with 50 guys on your team and go make it happen. Go process, make your calls, invite people, bring them here and do the thing, right? But your goal is to hit 10. So what if you hit 7? Better than what?
0.
Better than 0, right?
Better
But it's still 7. How is he getting close to 10? Yes. But as soon as he hits 10, he's on track. Number 2, when you start building it, you need to do everything possible to becoming what? Captain. Oh, that takes what? How many confirmations? 10. Number 3, fast start, focus. Everybody does their what? 10 KTBs. Everybody does their 10 KTBs. Right? In my business called Slap an App. I don't really get fired up about you until the day you can walk in my office and slap an app on my thing and say, hey man, I just closed this app by myself. Yeah. I'm like, oh my baby. Right? You're all grown up now. You're the real deal. So how many of you guys have slapped an app? How many of you guys have not slapped an app in here yet? Raise your hand. You have not slapped an app yet. Hey, we're almost there. But in my eyes, if you're on my team, the day that you come and slap it up on my team and say, hey man, I just closed an app by myself. I want a KTP and close. That's when you make me cry. That's when I'm excited. That's when you've actually entered a whole new what? You're a real agent in my eyes now. Make sense? Okay, here you go. So fast start, focus. Number 4. What do you think number 4 is? Okay, let's see who can guess number 4.
Field training.
That's already right here.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so fast start, let's talk about it, okay? Yes, fast start focus means what? We need to what? Go on 10 KTPs, and we need to make sure that they get a sprint award, okay? Let me give you an example. If you recruit 10 people in a month, I'm going to see how you're doing as a leader. So for example, okay, let's say here, Hunter, okay? Good name. Okay? So Hunter goes and recruits 3 people. In my mind, if he's already considered a what? If he's considered a field trainer, correct? He's taking care of what? This, right? Number 4, if he's a field trainer, okay? If he's at his 10, he's been signed off by me to go become a field trainer. He knows how to what? Go do this. See, number 4 should know how to what? Do all 1 through 3, right? So a field trainer. If I know he recruited 3 people and none of those dudes got an award last month in 30 days, someone's dropping the ball. Either he's got really uncoachable people or he still doesn't know how to fast start somebody. That make sense? So if he recruits 10 people in a month, I know out of those 10 people, I know some people are going to fall off. I'm going to expect at least what? 3 to 5 sprint awards to come out of those 10 recruits. If that doesn't happen in the next what? 10 to 15 to 30 days, somebody's dropping the ball. And if that keeps happening, I'm going to call into my office and say, hey, dude, you recruited this many people. I didn't see none of them get fast started. What's going on? I don't know how to fast start people that good. There it is. Right? So this is what you're going to do, Hunter. You're going to go recruit 3 more people, and you're not going to soak in your tears. You're going to go recruit 3 more people, right? And I'm going to fast start them what? For you, and you're going to sit there and watch me do it until you what? Do it right. I'm not doing good in my KTPs. Great. You're going to take your read back in the field on a couple more appointments, learn how to do it right, and then get back out there. Split it, be humble, right? Humble yourself so you can what? So you can move up. Make sense, Jack?
Yeah.
Right? That's what it is. My team's not where it's at where I want to be. I'm going to go spend time with my leader, see what's going on with my team, look at my numbers, get the truth, brutally honest, and then what? Then take what my leader tells me to do and implement it right away. Finally, number 5. Okay? SMD focus. What does it mean by SMD focus? You got to know your numbers. You got to know your numbers. You just got to know your numbers. So is it Manny? Right? So I got to be like, okay, Manny, you've been here for how long?
3 months.
3 months, right? How close are you to SMD right now?
1 year.
Okay? Think about it. So if you're like, I don't know, right? So then it makes sense that you need to know what it takes to hit SMD? Do you know what it takes to hit SMD? Okay? Okay, do you know what it takes to hit SMD?
Like 90,000 points.
Perfect, that's wrong. Here we go. All right? Donald, do you know what it takes to hit SMD?
Not really.
Okay? I know you know, right? Hunter, do you know what it takes to hit SMD? Jose? So how the heck are we gonna get SMDs if you don't know what it takes to hit SMD? You see, we just cleaned that up tonight, just like that. If I come back in a month and I say, boom, Mike, right? What does it take to hit SMD? He's like, boom, 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 boom. You're like, okay, we have a better shot of what? Becoming an SMD when you know what it takes to hit SMD. What does it take to hit SMD, guys? Here it is. You need 75,000 points between you and your team, and only half can come from your team. From you, sorry, only half can come from you. Okay, so 75,000 points in a rolling 3 months. Don't tell me you can't do it because I hit 210,000 points in 3 months. See, don't tell me it can't be done because it can be done, right? You just need enough people, about 3 or 5 guys doing it with you, and you'll hit it. Okay? Next thing, you need to at least be making $35,000 in what? In cash flow in 12 months, or at least 20K in 6 months. Okay? What's next?
10 licenses.
You need 10, by the way, let me just do this because it's how important it is. You need 10 licensed agents up here. That's number 1. Focus on building your licensed army, because if you keep focusing on building licenses, everything else will come. Everything else will come. See, people are like, I'm beating you, Mike. I know because I only got 2 licensed guys on the team, but the day I got 15 licensed agents, I'm going to freaking slaughter you. Because my team's going to know how to do things more than your team. But I know that right now it's just me and a couple guys. We can't take on a whole army with me and 3 guys. You're going to get your butt kicked. So just focus, guys. Just focus on building your army right now. You're going to catch up to people, but you got to focus. How can you shoot a gun if none of them can shoot? You know what I'm saying? So you got to get people licensed in a position they can close. Then you become what? Then you become what you now can compete. Well, you will always get beat by Eric Jamalita, by Reeve. You always get beat by Josh. You always get beat by my hierarchy. You always get beat by somebody like Nick Lancaster, right? All day long, every month, because you don't have enough licensed guys on your team. Shut up. Okay? But if it takes you a year, Jock, to go build what? 25 new licensed guys that are actually here, that's a whole new Jock.
Oh, yeah.
It's a whole new team coming up, right? And finally, last one here, you need an exchange leg. An exchange leg is the best thing about your business. As a matter of fact, it's the best thing about WFG. If there wasn't an exchange leg, we wouldn't be WFG today. That's the way it is. I gave up an exchange leg. I gave up Danny Farias, another guy. Okay? I know. All right? That's what it is.
What does that mean? Exchange leg?
Exchange leg? Get with your trainer. They'll explain it to you. Okay? It's the best thing to your business when it happens. You heard it from me. It's the best thing that can happen to you. That make sense?
Yes.
I was the exchange leg for Melissa Lancaster. Okay? Came over, right?
Yeah.
So, are we good with this, guys? You guys got it?
Yeah.
So how can you go change your business in the next 30 days? You and Team Invisible, right? Let's do this right. Well, I don't have 10 people on my team. Well, great. It starts with you getting what? 3. 3. So let's finish this off tonight, okay? Have we learned a little something tonight, guys?
Yes.
I hope I didn't pour too much into you, but I want you guys to win so bad, okay? I want San Diego to explode, okay? I just got an overrider now. This business is so amazing. I was at dinner in Arizona last night, and so I'm talking to. I have a couple agents there, and then they brought some friends. They're like, "This stuff really works." We're at dinner and everything, and I'm just like, "Look, guys, you guys keep asking me, like, here's my cash flow, just here." And they're like, "Crash on," like, you know. And then a text message came in as they're looking at my phone. Hey man, we just did a $75,000 rollover and we closed 2,500 point IUL right now. They're like, what does that mean? 75,000 rollover, and like, oh, it just means I got paid. So you see where see my team they were in Simi Valley closed. I sent Josh Williamson on the matchup, right? Thanks, Josh. Right? He closed, and they're like, what? So you just made money right now, huh? I'm like, yep. Like, how much money did you make right now being at dinner with us? So being at dinner with you guys, right? $1,600. Right? Just being there. And right now I just got another text message. Right? Great. They wrote a $133 IUL.
Direct.
I override it by 36%. How much money did I make? 133 times 12, 1,596, right? I override by 36%. I was here talking to you guys. I just made $574 talking to you.
That's just the one that told you.
Yeah, I don't know what else happened tonight, but my team's gonna someone's gonna close, right? So think about it. If I just get 4 of those a month, that guy just made me $2,800 for the month, overriding one person. Can anybody here use an extra $2,800 this month? Okay, that's a small one too, right? But that's just what it is. Let's go over. Let's. Oh, I'm a little over. I'm sorry. Let's go.
I think we love you.
Yeah,
Okay.
keep going. Stay going.
Okay. Last thing. Now we'll see goodnight. Okay. Okay. Go and recruit 3 people. 3 people should bring you 30 KTPs. Because if you fast start them correctly, every person needs to go on what? 10 KTPs. Out of those 10 KTPs that you book, let's just say that what? You only go on 20. And out of those 20 that you actually go do, you only close what? 10. You close 10. At $200. Is that doable out here in San Diego?
Yeah.
Average should be easy. If you're not averaging more than $200 per appointment, it's because you're not on MHKO appointments, called qualified appointments, married, homeowners, kids, occupation. So if you keep going on 18 to 21-year-old people on appointments at 7-Eleven, you're doing a KTP there, right? You're gonna keep on getting your $30, $40. That's cool, we'll help them, right? But I want what? I want to have a target market of what I'm going after, correct? Okay. So let's do the math.
$14,880 of ND contract.
Okay, I'm not talking about these. Okay, that's $2,400 times 10 is what? 24,000 points. Personal points you just wrote up in what? In a month, correct? Where does that put you right now amongst the hierarchy? Right, a personal producer at 24,000 points.
Top 10.
Right, top 10. Okay, any associates in the room? Who's an associate here? Okay, who's a training associate? Okay, so we got a good mixture. Okay, so my training associates, this should be the last month of your training associate. Go hit your 330, and let's get out of there. All right. You should never get paid at a 30%. Ever. Like, don't ever see 30%. Make that a goal. Okay. But if you're an associate, they pay you up 45% IUL, correct? That's $10,800. If you, for whatever reason, like, no, don't give me a promotion. You just stay at associate at 45%, right? Times 12, that's $129K for the year, and you just got your ring. So you didn't get it off of what? Titles. You get it off of what? The right work ethic. This is how we're going to end it tonight. Oh, by the way, then you take that type of example and go take that times 3, 4, 5, 10 agents that can go kind of do that stuff. What does your life look like? What does their life look like? You see, you got to go make money. You got to go make 10 grand a month. I got a guy on my team right now. He's doing it for 4 months. He's going to clear what? 10 grand a month. He just went to Vegas, closed 22,000 points by himself. Because by the way, he didn't do 10 KTPs with me. He just says, you know what, dude, I don't care if I get split. He did 23 KTPs with me. We closed 18 out of the 23 KTPs. And now he went out there and closed what? 8 apps by himself out in the field. All right? Success leaves clues, correct? Cool. I didn't have to go to Vegas. He went. But he made me $9,980 in 2 days in overrides. Anybody use that this month? Okay. Remember, I'm just a simple dude that's followed what? An amazing system that now pays me what? Extraordinary, right? And I'm still not where I want to be. Tomorrow, you know what I gotta go do? I gotta get up, make my phone calls, go prospect, get some numbers, right? And do it. If I don't do it, my team's not gonna do it. So here's where we're at. You can change your life if you just start doing the right things. It's gonna take time. I know some of you guys knew, but Mike, I don't know how to fast forward. I know it's gonna take time to get better, but don't stay where you are. Hurry up and get better. So we're like this tonight. We're a little bit over, okay? It all started with what? Three directs. Well, some of them are gonna quit. I know. Next, right? See, I'm here until I make it, so I don't care when people quit anymore. Right?
Yeah.
I know enough are gonna stay who are gonna want to like me, and we're gonna do it. So finally, I want you to do this. If you were gonna punch somebody really, really hard right now, think about the hater in your life right now, okay? That's my wife, no, don't punch your wife, okay? Anybody got some haters in your life? Some of you guys are gonna go home to the hater right now, okay? And they have every reason to hate. But I've never seen anybody hate when you bring home a check for $10,000. You know what I see? Think about it. You're at home with your honey. You're like, honey, I don't want to tell you this, but I made $10,000 last month in WG. What do you want to do? You think your negative honey's going to say, you want to fight? You want to argue? Right? So do me a favor, guys. Give me a fist. If you're going to punch somebody because they just slapped your mama, okay? Give me a fist. Let me see your fist. Let me see it. Which hand would you use? So we got some lefties too. Okay, so we got a lefty there, right? You use the left one, okay? Someone you guys would use a foot. I understand. Okay? Well, let's get it. Ready? Okay? Now look at your fist. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Okay? You ready? Look at the fist. Look at the fist. Now ask your fist, why don't you have a ring?
Damn, that was good.
God bless you guys. Thank you for your time.
That was awesome. Hey guys, was that awesome or what?
Yeah.
Hey, give it up one more time. A little stuff over here for you on the way home.
Oh, thank you.
You like a straw?
Oh my God, you guys are awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, man.
Appreciate you guys. Hey, you guys are awesome. Hey, guys, get to work, guys. Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Really quick. The one thing I really got out of this is that your life could be changed in 30 to 90 days in this company. I mean, out of everything he said, that was pretty much everything that was said. So I just want you guys to know that my life was changed in about 90 days in this company. So that really hit home with me. And I can tell you guys that if you guys put a little bit of effort and take everything he just said tonight and put it into use, I can honestly tell you that the same will happen to you. So I appreciate it. You guys have an awesome night. We're going to the diner, I think, afterwards. So we'd love to have everybody. All right? Awesome.
Quick meeting after the meeting.